The fact that it took the most impressive, competent, rich man in the world to save the biggest social media platform in the world from left-wing censorship, then prove there was left-wing censorship so that he could dunk on the incompetent woman who the left is trying to run as leader of the free world, and then leftists hate him for it, is about as archetypal as it gets in terms of the masculine hero archetype and the degenerate female psyche worshiping at the altar of incompetence. And I mean literally worshiping, because true competence lies in individuality, it lies in objective parameters. But all objective parameters, as far as left is concerned, are oppression. That's the reason they have quotas. Oh my gosh, we need to have 50-50 female airline pilots, because when we select for competence, they're literally all white men that are like 45 years old. Oh my gosh, quickly, let's get some female representation at BlackRock so that we can fund non-profitable businesses that focus on lattes and smoothies and bamboo t-shirts. So yeah, that's what's going on here. And it's incredible, because there's never been two so starkly distinct sides of good versus evil, competence versus incompetent, logic, reason, rationality versus the hatred for reality, logic, reason, rationality versus the hatred for truth. This is why people describe the left as satanic, because every position they have is aligned with the opposite of what civilization should be aiming for. And it's no surprise, of course, that the people that are the most staunchly behind the radical left-wing resentment are single women who have been indoctrinated by feminism to have resentment for masculinity, which is essentially just an apparatus for extrapolating the true nature of the world and making it crystallized.
Ma'am, the U.S. is experiencing record inflation, the worst in 30 years.
Look how she smiled at the beginning, expecting it to be like a softball question. Oh my gosh, I'm by default a good person. But then she gets asked a real question.
Record inflation, the worst in 30 years, way beyond expectations. OPEC didn't increase oil production. Can you tell us a little bit about how you would prevent the new spending and your Build Back Better agenda from exacerbating the problem?
Let's be absolutely clear. The fact that a woman, or even any reporter, would dare ask a question, even in the objective landscape, is already enraging to them. That's where we are. That's the extent to which their disdain for truth has evolved to. Even acting as though there is a truth, or there is a right and a wrong, is considered oppressive in many left-wing circles, because it denies the idea that reality is socially constructed. What do you mean you're going to allege numbers, economics, barrel prices of oil, and other objective masculine parameters matter? Oh my gosh, that's oppression. Those are man things.
And also, what else are you going to do to fix this problem with inflation?
Let's hear the competent female answer.
Thank you. Well, let's start with this. Prices have gone up. And families and individuals are dealing with the realities of that bread costs more, that gas costs more.
The left wants to run this woman. Oh my gosh. When I say they worship at the altar of incompetence, guys, I'm not being frivolous. I'm not making a joke. I'm not trying to make one of those videos with the title being, funny. This is actually just who they are. Leftism actually desires incompetence, because incompetence is a marker of not having an individual identity, and it's a marker of having a group identity, which is what they command. The leftist ideology called Marxism commands people to give up their individual identity and exchange it for a group membership, which says you're a good person just as a part of being a part of our cult. And when they're expected to engage in objective parameters like this, and then they try to, this is what happens.
And we have to understand what that means. That's about the cost of living.
Okay. We have to understand what means. I need to just make sure.
Or the gas costs more.
Okay.
And we have to understand what that means. That's about the cost of living going up. That's about having to stress and stretch limited resources.
Okay, so it sounds like she's talking to a third grade classroom, right? It's like she's trying to restate the question so that a person with a 80 IQ could understand it. And I'm not going to go into what that implies for the left. But I will say this. The left is not used to having to deal with objective reality, because they've already demonized it when they say that everything is socially constructed. Oh my gosh, reality is made in the image of my ideology. I don't have to think about the prices of barrels of oil. Well, what is that?
That's about a source of stress for families that is not only economic, but is on a daily level, something that is a heavy weight to carry. So it is something that we take very seriously. But there is also a point that is important.
Okay, is she going to blame big oil? Is she going to blame the conservatives? Is she going to blame men? check your bingo card. Write it down. What do you think it's going to be?
To make on the Build Back Better framework. One, it is designed
Or rich men. Add that one.
to make it less expensive for working people to live.
You literally just admitted you're making it more expensive for working people to live.
It was specifically designed to bring down the costs of childcare and increase accessibility and availability. Designed to bring down the cost of it.
She's saying designed and past tense, admitting that it failed. Given the current situation, she just admitted exists.
Elder care. And make it available to all those working families that need that support and need that help. And Build Back Better is not going to cost anything. We're paying for it.
It's not going to cost anything. We're paying for it. Dude, they're not interested in objective reality. I don't know how else to put this. But when they say they're the good guys, when they say they're compassionate and inclusive while being discriminatory and exclusionary, when they say they're protecting democracy while trying to put their opposition in jail, that's the reason they say those things while doing the opposite. Because they view reality as oppression. Reality, once you admit is objective, by default holds you accountable. And if it holds you accountable, you have to be an individual. And if you're an individual, you have to use logic, reason, and rationality. And once you use logic, reason, and rationality, the entire edifice of the left-wing ideology and all of its presuppositions disintegrates. It comes crashing down. Because you realize that society is not made up of power disparities that are defined by oppression and resentment. You realize that meritocracy actually defines Western civilization. That objective morals do. Again, invalidating the postmodernist neo-Marxist idea that undergirds their philosophy. This is who they are, and this is a disgrace. Keep in mind, too, Elon Musk has recently come under fire from the governor of California, the state that I live in, for tweeting a edited video of Kamala Harris, which, since Newsom has said, he wants to make illegal. So he wants to make memes illegal. In California, memes are going to become illegal if you make them against the left pretty soon. But that's okay. I'm already planning to move to Texas. I'm getting tired of the homeless people and like drugs on the street, you know what I mean? But Elon Musk posted another video of Kamala Harris, basically showing, yeah, I'm not afraid of you outlawing memes, which I think is fantastic, especially on a platform that he bought in order to free humanity from the tyranny and totalitarianism of the left, which he exposed objectively. Again, but objectivism doesn't really matter to the left. Oh my gosh, yeah, you proved that we were censoring you. So what? I mean, we already said we're the good people and you're the bad people. It doesn't matter how we don't even think of you as people anyway. So yeah, we can really just censor you regardless. But what you have to say doesn't really matter. And we should just put your candidate in jail because, you know, he's not really a good force for society and civilization. And by the way, we're the good people. Dude, it's actually so disturbing and taxing when I try to emulate the left-wing psyche. Because I've spent time around it. I've spent time in these circles where you have no idea how elite these people think they are, and in many ways they are elite because they're rich and powerful, but they think they're better than you. And I've seen these circles. I've been in these circles. Thank you, Elon. Thank you. Yeah, 315,000 likes. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Okay. This upcoming election is really just going to be a confrontation of sanity and objective reality where we're going to have all the resentful, deformed freaks in one camp shrieking in fear, hatred, and disdain for everything that is true and good. And then we're going to have every person that wants to stand up and say civilization should be made in the image of objective reality so that we don't endlessly suffer and toil under an ideology that lies about everything. If you guys see me making a lot of videos about destroyed women with ravaged psyches who are defined pretty much by resentment, it's because proclivity to abide in left-wing authoritarianism has been measured to correlate with a feminine temperament and low verbal IQ. And that's also the significance of me showing you this here. Because it makes sense that the culmination, the embodied archetype of their degeneracy is a woman who has an IQ below 100, who thinks she's a good person just as a result of her skin color, who's told she's a hero just because she's a part of the right club. Be sure to subscribe to the channel.